She moved like a shadow across the cafe floor, fast, quiet, and tired. Emily, 26, had been serving tables at Maple and Bean for nearly 3 years now. Life hadn't exactly turned out the way she imagined when she left her small town in Alberta with big dreams of becoming a teacher. Now, those dreams were tucked away beneath a stack of unpaid bills and late rent notices. Still, she smiled for every customer, even when her feet ached and her heart felt heavy. That morning had been rough. Her bike chain snapped on the way to work. She'd spilled hot coffee on her only decent pair of jeans, and her landlord left a final warning notice taped to her door. She didn't cry. Not yet. She told herself she'd get through the shift, and maybe, just maybe, something would change. The bell above the cafe door jingled softly as a man walked in with a little girl, no older than 6. Emily noticed them immediately, not just because they were new faces, but because the girl had the brightest smile she'd seen in a long time. The man looked like he'd come straight from a business meeting. Dark blazer, sharp features. But there was tiredness behind his eyes, too. They chose a corner booth by the window. Emily approached with her usual gentle energy. "Good morning. What can I get for you two?" Before the man could speak, the little girl pointed at Emily and said, clear as day, "I like her, Daddy." There was an awkward pause. Emily smiled, caught off guard, while the man chuckled softly. "Well," he said, glancing at his daughter, "that's a lovely thing to say. We'll have 2 hot chocolates and a blueberry muffin to share." As Emily walked back to the counter, something in her chest softened. It had been so long since someone looked at her, really looked at her, and said something kind without wanting anything in return. She returned with their order and chatted briefly. The little girl's name was Sophie, and her father, Ryan, was a single dad who had just moved to the city from Montreal. He was trying to balance work and parenting after a painful divorce. Emily could see the way he looked at his daughter, like she was the only light left in a dark tunnel. Over the next few weeks, Ryan and Sophie became regulars. Every Saturday morning, they came in, always choosing the same booth. Emily looked forward to those mornings more than she would ever admit. Sophie would draw pictures for her, and Ryan started opening up little by little, about his past, about his struggles, about how hard it was starting over. And Emily? She listened. She didn't have advice, just presence. A smile. A refilled cup of coffee. Quiet empathy. They never talked about their pain directly, but something passed between them in those moments. 2 people holding on to their own broken pieces, but beginning to feel a little less alone. One morning, Ryan stayed behind after Sophie had gone to the restroom. He looked at Emily and asked, "Do you ever feel like life cheated you out of the good stuff?" Emily blinked. "Yeah, all the time. But then you meet someone," he said, eyes searching hers, "and you wonder if maybe the good stuff is just late." Emily didn't say anything, but her heart beat louder than it had in years. Then, one Saturday, they didn't show up. Emily waited all morning. She kept glancing at the door, willing the little bell to ring, but it never did. Days passed. A week. 2. The booth remained empty, and her chest grew heavier each day. She didn't even know his last name. She hadn't asked. She thought they had time. One snowy afternoon, just before Christmas, the door jingled again, and there they were. Sophie rushed in first, bundled in pink, and threw her arms around Emily's waist. "I missed you." Emily laughed, blinking back tears. Ryan followed, holding a small wrapped box. "We had to go back to Montreal for family reasons," he said softly. "But we're staying here now. Permanently." He handed her the box. Inside was a mug with the words, "The good stuff takes time," printed in gold. "I meant what I said that day," Ryan added. "And I'd really like to see where this goes. You've been more than a waitress to us. You've been a light." Emily looked down at the mug, then up at him. Her walls, built so high for so long, started to crumble. The cafe buzzed around them, but in that moment, time stood still. It wasn't a fairy tale. Not yet. But it was something real. 2 broken people, trying again. And maybe, just maybe, this time they wouldn't have to do it alone. As the snow fell outside and Sophie giggled over her hot chocolate, Emily realized something. Life hadn't cheated her after all. It had just been waiting for the right moment to begin.